Okay. Now, check naman natin to. Mag-focus tayo sa accounts receivable this time. Okay? So, receivables are, well, na-mention kanina, initially measured, recognized at fair value plus transaction costs. However, trade receivables that do not have significant financing component are measured at their transaction price. I'll give you an example. Let's say, ang cash price equivalent ng isang inventory is 10,000. Let's say, cell phone. Ngayon, meron tayong mga installment plans to afford our customer to pay in installments. Kaso, alam natin na kadalasan, lalo na pag hindi naman 0% interest, okay? So, sometimes, yung total na mababayaran ng customer is not 10,000 anymore. Meron mabot ng 12, okay? 13, ayun. Pag isuma total mo lahat ng installment payments. So, yun yung tinatawag natin siyang financing component. Okay? Ang 12,000, which is above the cash price equivalent, is called the transaction price. So, ang sabi dito, na kapag hindi naman ganun ka-significant or ganun kalaki ang difference ng financing component, okay? So, pwede na natin siya i-measure at transaction price. Okay? So, usually kasi ang mga receivables, they are measured at cash price equivalent. At yung difference ng transaction price at ng cash price equivalent ay interest. Okay? So, sa point of view ng seller, okay, interest, income. Okay? So, again, kapag hindi naman ganun ka-significant yung financing component, pwede na natin siya ma-measure at its transaction price. So, hindi na tayo magre-recognize ng interest. Okay. Sige. Transaction price. It is the amount of consideration that the entity expects to be entitled in exchange for transferring promised goods. So, amount to be entitled. Okay? So, i-differentiate nyo. Again iba yung transaction price sa cash price equivalent. Yung cash price equivalent is the amount na matatanggap ng seller kapag ang amount ay nasettle with cash. Again, transaction price is different from cash price equivalent. Pero, sa accounts receivable, pwede na natin ma-measure ang accounts receivable at its transaction price if the financing component is not significant. Okay. So, meron pa tayong additional na kailangan i-consider. If the receivable is due within 1 year from the date of transfer of goods or services, the entity may choose not to discount the amount of consideration as a practical expedient. So again, practical expedient is just a fancy way of saying para madali. Okay, para mas madali, hindi na lang magdi-discount. So, etong discounting na to, we will heavily discuss that with notes. So, if hindi nyo pa yan siya maintindihan, okay, it's okay. Mas maintindihan nyo yan siya pag nasa notes na tayo. Okay, in which matututunan nyo paano mag-discount. Alright. So, usually, okay, if yung receivable is hindi naman lalampas ng 1 year, okay, so, hindi na natin siya dinidiscount. Minimeasure na natin siya at its face value or transaction price. Alright. Sige. Next, punta naman tayo sa terms of sale contract and freight charges. Okay, so we will understand the different freight terms, no? So, first, we have the terms FOB shipping point and FOB destination. So, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng FOB? FOB stands for free on board. So, ganito yan ang logic dyan, guys. Okay? Ang goods, eventually, mapupunta talaga ang ownership kay buyer. That's the goal. Okay? Now, itong mga freight terms na to answers when. Again, yung goods ultimately mapupunta talaga sa buyer. Okay? So, freight terms determine when. Okay, so let me explain. Ganito guys, ito si supplier. Alright? Yan si supplier. So, let's say meron siyang customer na kailangan i-deliver papunta sa kanya yung goods. Now, kinontrata niya ang isang shipping company na magpadala ng goods. Binigay niya yung goods sa for shipping. And then yung goods, ita-transit, ita-deliver kay buyer. So, punta naman tayo sa freight terms. Now, pag sinabing FOB shipping point, meaning, dito pa lang, sa point na to, lilipat na kay buyer ang ownership. Ibig sabihin, while in transit, kay buyer na to. Gets ba? Now, bakit nga ba importante to? Okay? Hindi pwedeng parehas sila na mag-recognize ng asset. Okay? Hindi rin pwede na parehas sila magde-recognize ng asset. Okay? So, now, it answers the question, kailan lilipat ang ownership? Okay? So, pag FOB shipping point, dito pa lang sa shipping point, lilipat na kay buyer ang ownership. Okay? Ibig sabihin, while it's still in transit, kay buyer na to. Okay? Kung mawala to, loss ni buyer. Okay? So, kapag ganito ang free terms, isipin nyo lagi na ang strategy ko is kung saang point, look at the farthest direction. Alright. Ang farthest direction is sa direction ng buyer. Bakit nga ba importante yun? Ibig sabihin si buyer ang dapat magbayad. Alright? Again, pag shipping point, ibig sabihin dito pa lang kay buyer na, ang dapat na magbayad ay si buyer. Okay? Sa kanya na ang goods while it's still in transit. Alright. Now, punta naman tayo sa isa pang freight term, which is FOB destination. Sa FOB destination, okay, magiging goods, matatransfer lamang yung ownership kapag ang goods ay natanggap na ni buyer. Okay? So, paano yan? Now, during in transit, okay, hindi pa nalilipat yung ownership kay buyer. Meaning, kay supplier pa rin ang inventory. So, ibig sabihin, pag mawala ang goods na nasa while in transit, loss yun ni supplier or ni buyer. Okay? Now, again, itong concepts na to, importante to ngayon sa accounts receivable and babalikan natin to siya pag magtatakal na tayo ng inventories. Alright. So, again, pag FOB destination, okay, same strategy, no? Look at the farthest party involved. So, si supplier. Ibig sabihin, ang nagbayad or ang magbabayad dapat ng freight ay si supplier. Okay? So, yun. Again ha, pag FOB destination, matatransfer lamang ang ownership kapag nakarating na kay buyer. Okay? Meaning, while still in transit, kay supplier pa rin yan. Okay? If in case mawala yung goods while still on transit, loss ni supplier. Alright? So, yun. Ganun lang intindihin ang shipping point and destination. And again, one strategy, no, or mnemonic is kapag yung term, look at the farthest party, siya yung nagbayad. I mean, siya yung magbabayad. Alright? So, if it's shipping point, ang magbabayad dapat is si buyer. If it's FOB destination, ang magbabayad dapat ay si supplier. Alright. So, there's another, So, paano yung actual na nagbayad? Okay? So, may difference kasi. For example, FOB shipping point. Ang supposedly na magbabayad is si buyer. Okay? But there are instances that the party who actually paid is the other party, si supplier. Okay? So, meron tayong dalawang terms na kailangan iintindihin. Okay? Freight prepaid and freight collect. So, madali lang to siya intindihin, guys. Okay? If it says na prepaid, ibig sabihin yung actual, okay, yung actual na nagbayad, regardless kung sinong party man yung dapat na magbayad, yung actual na nagbayad in this case is si supplier. Okay? And there will be consequences kapag magkakaroon ng mismatch. Okay? Like for example, nagbayad na napaaman si supplier, pero ang freight terms naman pala ay instead na destination, shipping point. So, sige. We will deal with that sa activities. Now, pwede din mapag-agreehan nila na actually, you know what, shipping company, collect it sa buyer. Okay? So, dito na darating yung freight collect. Okay? So, again, freight collect, kokolektahin pa lang ng shipping company yung yung common carrier yung freight sa buyer. Okay? Prepaid, ibig sabihin nagbayad na ng advance si supplier. Okay? Regardless whether FOB shipping point or FOB destination. Ang sinasabi lang ng prepaid at saka ng collect is sino yung totoong nagbayad.